I was moving to the said we were on.
No, more people, hopefully.
Okay. We are streaming. Just what?
How's everyone at your house?
They're mostly better.
Maddie has had a runny nose and a cold, and they have the musical starting tomorrow.
Oh.
And so I'm like, sleep, fluids, take care of your voice.
Right?
It's like, I'm not tired. I'm like, I don't care. Go to bed. Now, was Kathy, did you say she was on the tech side or the
Yeah, she's doing the lighting and sound.
fun? Very fun.
Yeah.
Good.
That's always when I went to the cast party last year.
It's not.
Yeah, that seemed like so much fun too, and you get to be part of everything too, and it's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I have to get my ticket still for the
So-
I know,
show.
I don't think we're gonna be able to go now.
Let's see.
We were gonna go on Thursday, but now I'm like,
Right, having
I don't want to
feeling
expose
like
the live.
So
I
I can go see because I've got one from my computer.
know, that's what, I'm like, oh gosh. She is, because she's supposed to go to Kalamazoo, and so she said, if I go back to school before then I am in a mask. And I was like, you might want to.
Yeah.
Oh.
The script for the no, yeah, like I promised her I would talk over this, and then I'm like, I can't.
Oh, I have it. Do you want me to email it?
Yeah, thank you. To my Gmail.
Yeah.
Is there a formal?
Hi.
Hi, that I have to follow or do I just say?
I think you're good. Okay. She'll send it to me. It'll be on there because I read it last time.
Yeah, now I just have to find it. This may take, PTA.
It's in the drive, but for whatever reason, this computer has to be plugged in or it doesn't work.
And all of this is kind of like, whatever, you can probably say anything.
I don't know where I was putting
Technology. I think.
Me either.
Oh, here we go. I can bring another card. Hi.
Oh, thanks.
Hi.
Oh, now the plug-in. That's awesome. Thanks.
How's it going?
Thanks, Jenny. Can I sit over here? Yeah.
Hi. So you got my text and delivered it.
Yeah, I
have to pick. Oh, you did. Yes. Sorry.
thought I did.
Maybe I didn't send it because I do that all the time.
Thank you.
Yeah, I did. Okay. Let me know.
I got it. Thank you. I'll show her too. Maybe I can open.
Okay, I'm just gonna. My stuff over here. Sneak out. Sneak out.
I know, right? Is it charging? Did that work?
Yes. Okay, thank you so much.
So the minutes were sent out.
I'm good.
How
I
fun.
could. Okay. Are you sure you want to sit by me?
That's a good point.
Although, do you want to
We
sit
kinda
with,
get the
do you want to
same
sit with me?
Same vibe going on.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, you guys. That sucks.
What do you have going on?
It's almost the flu.
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
Yeah, not fun,
Oh, I'm just
but
striking out here.
I don't know.
Multiple. You know, maybe.
This was asking, although this is not, like, Lucy clear.
Oh, I
She's
would-
vaccinated. And it clearly is not right.
I just do this every day. Okay.
Well, so same as that, so she had hers 4 weeks ago. So she should have,
Yeah.
I mean, that should be.
It's cold.
Just talking about that, actually.
I was talking about it with my husband and he's like, I don't understand how that's a thing. And I'm like, well, it just is. And so-
We were talking about how there's hair everywhere. He's like, "Are you found any in your butt jacket?" I was like, what?
What are you talking about?
I was like, usually I have to be in the shower.
Oh, funny, I love it. And you know that Walker spelled CK, right?
I do know that. It's my, I have, Grammarly.
Autocorrect?
Yeah, it's like Grammarly, and it makes me,
And not that we need those, but-
Yeah, we're probably gonna have to do an online vote.
Yeah,
oh,
I figured that was gonna happen,
we'll see.
yeah.
With the weather.
I'm gonna log in.
It's, I mean, weather, and then I just feel like all the stuff.
The illness.
Well,
and
right,
stuff.
yeah.
And then, yeah, it's like,
My-
how many
I think
people
our
do you
tutor-
normally have that comes?
We had a lot last time.
Yeah, we had quite a few last time.
25, maybe?
Yeah.
25.
Well, the first meeting's the best in attendance.
Okay.
But this, when weather is gonna,
I know.
But you know what, Marie was gonna speak, like, yeah.
she said she wanted.
6:45.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a minute, because I mean, if it's just us, we have plenty of time.
Other people online.
I'm gonna check. and try
Well,
to
so
get
Gina,
in.
when I first texted, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be late, because in my head, you started at 6.
Yeah, oh.
Of course.
we're-
Okay, we
we're
are
live.
on. Kira Bowman, welcome. Thank you for being on.
Thank you. I was hearing an echo.
She says she's waving back.
We're just gonna give a few more minutes in case people are trying to join us in person, because we had a few that RSVP.
Yeah.
That might be on their way. Listen to my voice, that's not good.
Uh-oh.
I don't get sick. Michael gave me a handful of elderberry and a handful of vitamin D and vitamin C before I left. He's like, take all of these. Here, do this. The vitamin D's in my pocket. I'm like, I do not put those through the laundry.
Yeah, let's see. So Faith, did you talk to Mark about the $1,300 balance?
I need to
Okay.
talk to him again.
Okay.
Because, and that's the most critical thing, is it has to be used out by,
11/28.
yeah.
Yep.
Shot money to burn. So I actually brought
I'm looking
this,
to get out of the state for a little while.
Yeah, right?
What can
I brought this chalet over there, so he had like a nice little
Perfect.
reminder.
We sent out
We sent it out multiple times. I mean, it's been everywhere.
but I've actually got a few requests that are pending, so
Small bites.
I'll get to it.
But yes, it's your office.
Yeah, well, and I just was working on the, I want to talk to you, I was just looking on the form in membership toolkit for people to fill out just so they top 3 requests. Yeah, so. Check them out. Okay, so I have written a few checks that needed to go. I didn't think you would be too broken up about that. Right away. And then, yeah, let's just figure out the day and the time on the calendar. Just so we can.
Well, I brought you some before you did one.
Oh, no, that's not easy. We have to reconcile the books. And when we both were going to get together, my daughter had a fever, and then I don't know which one of your children did, but then she's like, one of my kids now has a fever, and it's like, yes, never mind.
Is it just a fever and it's gone?
All three of my boys ended up with influenza A.
You had them tested?
Yeah, my daughter didn't, I didn't.
Oh,
you're good.
He woke up yesterday and I like touched his leg and I was like,
She was like,
you're burning me up.
"Yes."
I'm just a little tired. It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
And I said, all right, back to that. And then by like 11 o'clock, it broke and he was completely fine.
Yeah, no,
It was the
my-
weirdest.
Who was this? This was Connor?
Yeah, it was just the weirdest.
No,
Just
I
got rid of
went
it. He got rid of it.
3 days. I didn't have her tested because I knew it was going around and
She had it probably 5 or 6 days.
Did he really? Oh.
Nolan's went up to 105.1.
Oh, wow.
Emma was 103.8, but that's scary.
I think we did.
Both half,
Not
didn't
last
you
time,
do?
yeah, but I think we
He
differentiated.
then told me that he was in double.
Oh.
Okay.
Hi.
We can do
Oh.
that.
I thought it was
I
like,
sat there for 4
No,
hours.
you're
so,
just
yes, this is the,
Okay, just got everything else
Everything
I'm in
else is good, right?
the November version.
We're just moving towards that.
yeah, sure.
Giving everybody a little extra.
Well, yeah.
6:50. Okay, maybe 5 more minutes.
Do you want me to do it? Just
Oh, you could have gotten way home, I guess.
It doesn't take much.
Yeah.
I was having.
What do you do? Better than yesterday. Yesterday was.
I know, my husband
But I do.
got out and had a car and he took it to school.
I actually think I read.
First time I driven my car.
And the snow. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
No, I was talking to Tanya. Do you have any idea what I was talking to Tanya on Sunday? I saw Chance and also.
Hard, you know.
So then one of our friends, is doing our
She's like,
It's really not. I think so, you know. I don't think they expect you to do it again.
Yeah. That's what I told her. So then you're not looking at her.
Yeah, I did that last year too, and I was driving and you're working all over. Oh.
I know, yeah, he's like, oh my gosh. So we got one of the hybrids, you know,
Okay.
so it's great on gas and it's just,
Right, right.
but it's small. We're used to, you know, he has a truck and we have a van, so we're used to small cars. Maybe we should get this.
Right, right.
Like, deep breath.
Yeah, I went home the day last year, like, looked up online, like, is this 4.5 and all this? Looking back, it was just a frustrating.
So Marie wants to. Sounds like Marie wants to go over.
Anyway, so you have kids here?
I have some, he's,
Oh, Marie's
Uh,
out.
Tom
Yeah,
Belcher's
perfect, okay.
class.
Okay.
So,
I don't
Yeah, so she
know
wants
what it
to
is,
go,
but Chinese immersion,
Chinese-
Chinese immersion. Great.
what grade did you?
I don't have to. She's in it.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah,
She can
Last
yeah, I have
Yeah.
seven boys too. So.
Oh, for.
Is your son going to
Yep.
like it a lot?
I think, I think I like it. I think she's not a school person, really, but, I think so. Yeah. No, I think, exactly.
I just kind of.
Yeah, my
It's
dad's
the same internally, externally.
But I think they are really, last year, I was kind of.
Yeah, so anyway, we have what how she does it.
But I think they do, they have a pretty fun staff.
Most
I think
There's
it's
gonna be like
pretty
2
close.
days, and it's gonna be like a Tuesday.
Where they have some fun and, you know, like,
No, that's not happening.
she talked about, like, we were meeting, like,
So exciting.
why the principal health.
Excited.
Oh, you know, like, he has to try.
Is it removable though?
So one of the things is a giant of weight or something. So,
I think people that get to that age.
Get a nice
have
little-
fun.
especially for
Is
winter.
it the
And they have a really good staff.
So what did you take?
She's my older side.
Not one for school, not necessarily going for social things, but honestly, I mean, she said that the other day, she's like, you know,
that
So
takes
maybe
your
we'll
radio
keep-
She
signal
sometimes feels like
Yeah.
separating
her fast
from.
and grab your last key to
She
her.
was lifting while she was.
That's what I had.
Every time I go like.
Yeah, yeah.
Every time I go like this, or this. My God, that area is like-
She actually gets the same
I don't think it's
So wait,
So you have.
Moving on next year to high school.
She's all this is, you know.
Down on it.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
So you're right, hit on it.
Yeah. This one I can look at.
Oh, good.
But
It's not, I don't.
Oh, I assume it's okay, so, yeah.
Yeah, it's just written.
So
in
we'll be the
minutes.
largest class that go
But-
from
Oh.
It can't.
Last year they had 43, and it was mostly boys, but this year
Can be
it's.
those
it's
two girls.
But there were only 79 kids. And
Yeah, thank you. What is it called?
Yeah, we'll just do an email.
I mean,
It's pretty big.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
I had.
Right.
It's like, yeah, I know, I would have done it.
Yeah, it's.
My brother said.
It's just really good.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just good for her.
Right.
She would get lost.
So, yeah, so this.
I saw your like, what's the
Yeah.
joy?
Yeah.
And she's always at it.
What?
Yeah,
peanut butter
and he stumbled and ran.
I mean, I
know.
Okay.
So, and he loves it, he does really good. And that's why I'm now chairing book fair. Book fair chair.
Oh,
So careful what friends you make.
Yes,
If I end up
chairing
something pretty big.
You didn't do it this year.
Yeah, I did.
We did, okay, well,
As of
good.
right now, I can do.
All right, well, it was real nice of you to do. I helped out.
Oh. Yeah, if we wanted to.
Well, it's 6:55, it's probably 6:56. We have 4 people online with us, and then we have everyone here. I think we might still have people trickling in, but we'll get started. So without further ado, we call this meeting to order. Can I get a motion to start the meeting? Can I get a thank you, Patty? Can I get a second? Thank you, Marie. Okay, so let's see. First, I have the agenda. Everybody grab an agenda. So are there any changes or requests to add to the agenda? No? Okay, we will proceed.
Are the minutes went out with the agenda?
The meeting is in.
Are there any questions or issues with the minutes from the previous meeting? All right, can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Great.
And a second?
Thank you, Susie.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Patty. All right, the minutes were approved. Okay, for the treasurer's report.
The treasurer's report is a pretty easy one. Everything is on budget as of right now. We do not have any issues. We do not have any extra spends. And the biggest thing is boosters. So I will talk about that during the committee reports unless you want me to talk about it now. But there are no changes to the budget other than when we voted on the budget, we said that we would be including the funds for the new Gaga pit in the faculty grant request. And so that will just, you will see that added to the $25,000 in the budget moving forward. But that's the change for that. And we will talk about some of the faculty grant requests. We got a couple really big ones. The new music teacher is looking for all new glockenspiels and a couple other wood type instruments, which is an $8,800 expense. And so we talked to Joe and he said if the PTA has the funds to support that, obviously it supports the whole school. So we went ahead and got approval for that. Another big one was $3,500 for a shed down by the Outdoor Learning Center for both Amy Altenberg, who is kind of in charge of the Outdoor Learning Center, to store all of the materials that she has for all the classes to use down there, along with any PE items that they use basically solely outside so they don't have to store those inside. We got approval from Joe on that pending what kind of structure they're looking for, and what kind of building code or building necessities we may have, because it may be, if it's a freestanding structure, it may not be an issue. It may be something that if it's just like a one that you purchase, like a Rubbermaid type one, we may be okay. But if they're looking for something more substantial that requires any kind of building code from Minnetonka, we will run into more issues. One of the biggest things that we ran into in the faculty grant requests is that multiple teachers have asked us for money to cover printing costs, and we will talk about that at the end when Nicole gets here. She'll give some more information on that. But the district had the printing costs went up significantly this year, and the school's budgets were not modified according to those increases. And so the teachers are looking for a stopgap just for this year to cover their additional printing costs. And so we'll be talking about doing a vote in addition to the faculty grant requests. So those couple of $1,000 requests that were grant requests will come out and go into this other vote that we'll be asking for. And then the remaining ones, there were a couple other bigger ones. One, they are looking for a 3s, 4s, and 5s addition to the Wilson reading library. So the reading teachers have quite a few materials for the K through 2 students. But as the Wilson program continues to grow and be successful here, they want material that is going to appeal to the 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. Obviously, having a 3rd, 4th, and 5th grader looking at a 2nd grade document is not really going to encourage their want to read. And so that was a $3,600 expense. And Joe said, again, that benefits a large part of the population, so he has no issue with that. So that one has been approved. And then we just had quite a few smaller, less than $500 requests from teachers for various classroom materials. One thing that did come up is multiple classrooms, mostly new teachers that have not been here in the past are asking for additional keyboards. And so last year we provided a set of keyboards for each section of each grade. So 3rd grade English, 3rd grade Chinese, et cetera, all the way up through 5th grade. And so they each have enough for one classroom. And so I don't know if these teachers are familiar with those being available to everyone as they're not housed in their classrooms. And so we're going to follow up with those teachers and explain that those are there and then find out what the need is. And then also the Navigator teachers were not included in that spend for the original grant request. And so in speaking with Mark, and then Lisa Leland was one of those people who was looking for keyboards for her classroom. We're going to include then the same order that we did for the other classrooms, enough for one classroom for the 2s, 3s, NAVs, and enough for one classroom for the 4s, 5s, NAVs for them to all share as well. So those were kind of the big ones that came up. They all actually fit into the $25,000 budget. With only a few dollars to spare, actually. And so in the spring, considering how much money we did end up raising with Booster, I think we will definitely want to have a conversation about having another ask for faculty grants, but we won't need to vote on that today. I think that covers all of the big ones. Does anyone have any questions on that? And those of you that are on live, you can go ahead and ask any questions you have in the chat as well.
No questions? All right. Thanks, Jenny.
Yep.
I will give the president's report then. So there are some upcoming district events that are pretty exciting this fall. We have information. You can reach out to the PTA or it could be in communications and whatnot. One of them is Minnetonka Foundation has the giveaway. So they are, I think that the deadline is November 20th. But if you donate $200 one time, or if you become a recurring monthly supporter at $25, then you get a chance to win a Cowboys and Vikings. If I was a football person, I would just know that. Cowboys and Vikings tickets. So November 20th, so it's coming up really quick, but I have this here. If anybody is curious, Amy's going to talk a little bit more about Dream Makers and probably the foundation, but that's kind of a fun thing that's coming up. I would love to go to a football game. That could be really fun. Another one, and it's Minnetonka Foundation also, is the Winter Teacher Appreciation Gift, so tonkagrams.com. So there's a few different packages that you can get for your teacher at different amounts, so that is really good. And so and I'll have this information here too, and if you're just curious, you can reach out to the SHE president or info emails. But you have to order between November 28th and December 6th. But that's really fun. You can do $6, $12, $22. Orange Theory Fitness is collaborating with them, so you get orange Tazo tea in one of them, so that's kind of fun.
And with those, you just order online and then that's it. They deliver it. It doesn't come to you. It goes to the teacher with your name. So.
Yeah, and you get a personalized thankful gram.
And you'll post that on Facebook and stuff as it gets closer.
Can I put it in the PTA top threes?
For sure.
As well. Okay, so that's Minnetonka Foundation. So some other things that are coming up. That's our phones.
What's happening?
I am too. That's okay. There's this is actually coming up in just a couple of days, but no, it's not, excuse me. Thursday, December 8th. Newport Healthcare, so this is just, something with Minnetonka, it's parent education. The need for, so anybody with older kids, I think the need for relief, teen vaping and mental health. It's a complimentary webinar. There is actually a CE presentation, so continuing education for any professionals that we have, but the parent presentation is 7 to 8 p.m. on December 8th. So I'll have information on that as well, if anybody is interested. Another one, and this is coming up in a couple of days, and this one is with the Department of Human Services, so DHS, Understanding Neuroscience, Building Self-Healing Communities presentation. So neuroscience is neurobiology, epigenetics, adverse childhood experiences, and resilience research. And that is a lecture on Thursday, this coming Thursday from 9:30 to 11:30. I put this in my Google Calendar. Let's see if I actually go or if I sit at my desk and work instead. So we'll see. But I have information on that if anybody is interested. And that's from the district as well. But the only other thing I wanted to share, and this was actually sent out by PTA recently, and we'll do it again. Tonka Serves. We haven't done anything with him yet, but I'm really excited to. Tonka Serves does volunteering. It helps children volunteer. I think that they're headquartered out of the high school, and people seem to think that it's a high school thing, but they do a lot for our younger kiddos here as well. And so Sarah Johnson has reached out to us and provided some age-appropriate volunteer options to give during the winter season. So if anybody's interested in that, you can reach out to the PTA as well. That stuff coming up. We may also have a vote, a digital vote, but we are going to have a fall survey coming up in the next week or so. We did a spring survey to kind of gauge interest in committee membership, deputy chairs, and things like that. We're going to do that again in the fall. There's a lot of interest, and then I think over the summer we kind of lost track of some folks or schedules changed. And so we're going to do it again this fall. And so you'll see some committees that need a chair kind of desperately. Taka Pride is one that we need a chair, and some others that we can look at. So watch for that. All right, well, I think we can do the committee report. I'll start with staff appreciation. Cassidy wasn't able to join us today, so I have her update. I'll go ahead and give it. So in October, the Staff Appreciation Committee was very busy. They provided treats and gift cards to nutrition staff and then custodians for their respective weeks. There were some pictures on Facebook if anybody saw that. That was really special. They also coordinated with all the other elementary schools to treat the first student bus drivers. And so I think they got coffee and treats at their at their location, metro location, wherever they are. So they also provided meals to teachers over conferences. So next event will be in January, and that's going to be for Para Appreciation Week. So thank you to our staff appreciation. Booster-thon, we have Jenny.
All right, we obviously have finished Booster-thon, and we came in at a total of $111,000. $111,379.91 raised. So we almost maxed out our percentage, but we are at a 74% take. So that gave us $81,597 that we raised for our school. And that covers part of the prizes. And then in addition to that, the prizes that I ordered came to approximately $9,000. So the final take will be around $72,000 to $73,000 for our school. And aside on the prizes, there are 22 boxes sitting in my living room. The UPS driver wanted to know today what it was that I was doing and am I running a business out of my house? But I think that's all of them except for a couple.
Did you make up a funny story?
I did not. I just told her it was for a school fundraiser because it was too on the spur of the moment. But we're missing a couple that are back ordered, but I will start putting those together and we will hopefully disseminate them to the classrooms next week before Thanksgiving. So everyone will have those. And then on top of that, every single classroom earned all of the physical prizes that they were offered as part of the group prizes. And in conjunction with Nicole Snedden and Becky Hunter, who are both teachers here and our assistant principal, we are working on reinstituting the laundry basket program so that each classroom has a laundry basket for them to take all of their earned recess pieces out to recess and have it all labeled and personalized for them, as well as hopefully helping the kids learn a little bit more responsibility in terms of this is where you put your coats and your water bottles and everything out on the playground. So maybe we won't have 500 items in the lost and found. Right? But so that was also part of the Booster-thon materials. And we, as an executive board, decided that we would then support also the additional laundry baskets that were needed. So those were purchased for just $150 to add to what we were providing. So what we need to decide, and the vote that will be coming out, is whether we are going to partner with Booster or not next year. As you know, we did something a little bit different this year. We did not have the Booster people in the school for the entire process. They came for the pep rally and they came for the event itself. And all of the feedback that I have gotten from faculty and staff is that they really appreciated not having them in the classrooms and not having the prize issues and all of those things. And they also really appreciated that we had filled out half of the classroom prizes for them and all of that. And they still really love doing the videos. The kids enjoyed the videos. The kids enjoyed following that process. And they just were really appreciative that they could do it at their own pace and not have to deal with trying to fit somebody else into the classroom. And so that is the program that we would do again next year. We're looking at doing the obstacle course again, changing things up a little bit. I have some ideas of just what the pieces that they use, how we could modify those a little bit to make it a little different next year for everybody. And we're looking at doing that. September 28th would be the kickoff and October 5th would be the fun run. And so what we need to determine is if we are okay contracting with Booster again next year. So as we do not have quorum here tonight, we will send out an online vote to all PTA members. That will be a questionnaire asking the same questions that would be on the written request. So does anyone have questions about Booster itself in terms of using them next year, or any issues or feedback?
All right, no questions. Next is book fair. Faith, stop.
So I know when you've never seen me here before. This is what happens when you become friends with Gina. You end up signing up to do the book fair. So I signed up to do the book fair, so this is my first year. And so I just took it all in. The girls that had done it before had amazing documentation, and it was just really helpful to start with that baseline. We were very busy, very, very, very busy. Even when we all thought, oh, nobody will come on the day that it's virtual, we were busy. We still had people coming in and out. So I would say the one thing is we probably need more volunteers during the book fair, maybe separating up people who actually want to do the register versus not, because there were some people like, don't make me do that. I'm like, it's okay, you don't have to do that. As far as the one thing that we want to stress in the next book fair is e-wallet. We handled a lot of cash, and I forgot how much fun it was to cash out a register every night. And thanks to the patients, I made it through. But there was a lot of cash, and it was a lot of counting. But so we want to really push the e-wallet. I think the teachers' wish list, we want to bring that back. The teachers, it's overwhelming for them to be with their students and also try to find something for themselves. So I think we just want to do a little bit more dedicated attention to them to make them feel a little bit more that we're setting time aside for them. I mean, they do so much for our kids. We really should take the effort to do more for them, I think. So our total dollar amount that we raised was $17,896.14. That was up $5,711 from 2021. And then if you look at pre-pandemic, we actually outdid that by about $1,300. So, I mean, we'll just never mention 2020 again. So we'll forget about that altogether. But it was pretty amazing. I mean, it was really, people who don't want to share things really should reconsider sharing things, and maybe we should do some videos about the inspiration you get from sharing, because meeting the community and being able to be in the community again was just uplifting to just be able to be involved with so many people. So we've got lots of things that we want to, now you've gone through it, you've seen how it goes, we have some opportunities, different things to do, but it was good. We want to bring in also middle school books, because we got a lot of advanced readers and we felt like they didn't have enough in their area. So it was fun. So sign up to be a chair.
Thanks, Faith. Any questions about the book fair? Online or two.
It probably is important. We've got to spend, so I've got to work with Mark, by 11/28, we have $1,300. If we don't use it, we'll lose it. So
Okay, so Mark Lassie.
yeah.
Yep, so you just on it.
We're on a special.
Jeff Bauer did comment, and I don't know if it's Marie or Jeff, but she did comment it was tricky with the tax at the book fair this year.
Yeah.
So one thing that happened was that Scholastic changed their taxable status, which meant that the sales were no longer tax-free. And so in the past, the issue that we've had, hi Marie, sorry. In the past, we've had the issue with not having enough pennies because everything ended up at 99 cents. But this year we were across the board just out of change. And the kids, of course, showed up knowing in the past that they just needed $10 and didn't have that. And so Faith made the executive decision, which was great, that we just use Scholastic dollars for kids if they did not have enough to cover their book cost. We just covered those additional charges with the Scholastic dollars. And so that was where the conversation with the e-wallet came up, was that then parents can put the money in there and it's all in there and available without not having enough money. And Faith also told us, because Joe said one issue was that teachers like to sometimes just send the students that have money to the book fair. And she said that she's able to print out the list of students who have e-wallet by classroom. So we'll be able to provide that to the teachers. So yes, Marie, thank you for pointing that out, because that was a problem for everyone that was at the cash register.
It's so funny because Glenn came home and he was trying to explain that to me. And I was like, no, there's no I'm really wrong. So I need to go home and say,
Sorry,
You've been
Flynn.
vindicated.
Totally, they did the same thing.
Yeah.
I needed more than $12.99.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you didn't.
You know, there's no tax. And she goes, it's okay. They said they would pay for it.
You're totally misunderstanding this.
Well, and we didn't find out until the night before the sale opened, so it wasn't like we just didn't communicate it. We didn't know either, and so we will be able to communicate that moving forward as well. But yes, it was a comedy of errors. I get a phone call from Faith and she's like, I'm not sure what we're supposed to do about this, but this is what I decided. I hope that's okay. And I'm like, yes, thank God you decided that because that was wonderful.
I used to make some decisions at work, but it's not like my.
Not your own way.
No longer be the chair. I do have to say, they did send out an email, and I don't know who actually got that accomplished, but the email did go out to the parents on the second day, and that was a very quick turnaround. I don't know what the proper or how many different formats we need to send it out in, but it was nice. There was action taken in it, and I think that was probably Principal Walker.
Yeah.
He probably heard it through the grapevines and ran with it, so. Awesome. Yep, and the girls in the office were amazing. Do we
I
ever
was gonna say as
They're the
usual.
best.
do we ever do like a special thing for them at the end of the year?
They are part of staff appreciation as well. So there's a administrative assistant week and they get gifts, et cetera.
Excellent.
Thanks, Faith. Next is the talent show. So Marie is with us virtually, but she sent me her report. Marie Bauer, sorry. And that was her recently with her question, not Jeff.
Right, she said it was Marie.
Okay. So Marie Bowers is reporting for the talent show. We had about 20 fabulous talents and 3 super 5th grade MCs. It was fun to be in person this year. We had a bit of a learning curve because it was partially live, compared to it being fully virtual, which it has been for the last few years. Now that we have some experience, we hope to grow the talent show next year. So we're looking for others to help organize and make it bigger and better. We welcome ideas. Please email any thoughts, and you can email it to me. There's a talent show email. I can email it to Marie. She put her email out in the talent show. But any ideas are welcome. So thanks to everybody who helped out to make the talent show amazing. We're looking forward to next year as well. Any questions about talent show? No. Dreammakers. Amy?
Hi, so Dreammakers is the Minnetonka Public School Foundation's big annual event, how we make all of our money for teacher grants. And for those that don't know what the Minnetonka Public Foundation is, it's basically, like a simple way to think of it is it's basically like a PTA or PTO for the whole district. So we service all the kids from ECFE to eLearn to the online academy, through middle school, elementary school, and high school. So basically, anything we raise goes to all Minnetonka kids. We do have, and this is I think something people don't realize, we work really closely with the district. So specifically, David Law, our new superintendent, to really go through and things that are initiatives for the district, and we try to support those through our fundraising. So we do things like the hub, which, right when you enter in. So that was our endowment project a couple years ago. So funds that we raise also go to endowment projects as well as teacher grants. So anyway, February 11th is Dreammakers, which is our big event. Everyone is invited to attend. So there is a physical event. It's at Bavaria Downs, which is out in Victoria. And it's, cocktails. And then there is a seated live auction, as well as mingling and appetizers and hors d'oeuvres. And it's not necessarily a sit-down meal per se, but enough to count as a meal. And then there's like a DJ afterwards. So it's a really fun event. In conjunction with that, we also have a silent auction, which is open to anyone, whether you attend or not. So, if you, want to be involved in the event, that is great. We love, it's really fun. We haven't had it since pre-COVID, so this will be our first in-person event in a long time. So that will be fun and exciting and nerve-wracking, but I think it'll be really great. There's a lot of new things they're going to be doing this year. As I said, that's February 11th. You can buy tickets. I think they go on sale in, I want to say, early to mid-December. So it's not out yet, but will be soon. And as I said, there's also the online auction, and then so anyone can participate in that, whether you attend or not, as well as then a live auction at the event. So anyway, it's a great evening. If you're interested at all, please let me know. I will be there, so you'll know somebody. And it's anything goes in terms of, like, you know, some people get dressy, some people don't. It's kind of just like smart casual. So I know for some people dressing up is not their thing, which is totally fine. So anyway, but super fun event, and yeah, just want to make sure people are aware of what we do, and if there's any questions I can answer. But we do things like, I think Gina did a great overview. I'll have to tell our executive director. But you know, things like that, like where we are giving teacher gifts, and you can send it to anyone. We also do other things throughout the year. So we post a lot in Peach Jars. We also have a link through the Minnetonka district website. So we're at the bottom with some other
And to
organizations.
piggyback on that, each school does donate some amount to the live or silent auctions, and Scenic has always been pretty successful in that. We used to do pajama days that people would then donate to that, and those were always wildly successful, but again, tough on teachers. And so we talked about this at the budget meeting, but Scenic just donates $2,000 to the foundation each year for Dream
And
Makers.
that's the max we'll accept from any school. And I will say, Scenic always has historically been the school that always donates. And always, so anyway, it's just gotta keep the tradition going. But we're appreciative of it, so, yeah. So yeah, that's what I got.
Thanks, Amy. Any questions about Dream Makers? Thanks. February 11th,
February 11th.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, good. It's super fun.
I get dressed up.
Yeah, I will too.
Okay.
You know, I think it's fun,
Yeah, sounds like it.
especially if I've gotten dressed up a lot.
Are they gonna allow axe throwing?
Oh,
I don't know.
Well, Bavaria Downs has axe throwing.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that,
Really? I'll bring my axe.
Yeah, I think that's probably not on the agenda for tonight, but I don't know.
they're gonna be surprised.
They're gonna be surprised. Perfect.
Oh, funny.
Good point. I'm gonna ask about that. You should add that.
No, I would pay to see like Superintendent Law, Road, and the
He would
board
surprise
on
us.
the board. That'd be great. Competition between them all.
You might be down with that.
Modern day dunking.
It is like a modern day dunk tank.
Right, exactly.
We don't throw the axe at.
I know.
Yeah, like having a target.
Apple, right there in your head. Don't move. Don't move.
And sorry, I'm gonna scoot out in a minute.
Okay,
Thanks,
thank you.
Rude. Thank you.
So next is Carnival, and Carnival is approved and scheduled for
February
February
10th.
10th. Thank you. I was wanting to say March 6th. I'm like, no, it has not.
So when you recover from the carnival, you can come to
You
Dream
come to
Makers.
Dream Makers, right? Because that's no children. Dream Makers is no children.
Oh, yeah, I should have clarified.
Right,
that.
started with that.
Parent only
Kiddos at home.
night.
Yeah, so February 10th, the day before Dream Makers, Carnival and silent auction, 5:30 p.m., I think, to 8:30 p.m. There is a little bit of an asterisk for that.
Yep.
And there has not been one in a few years. So we do have chair and deputy chairs. We have Audra and Lauren Mintz and Jenny Priscilla, I think.
Yes, and I will say that we will probably not have the live auction as we don't need it. The conversation we can have as an exec board and whoever else wants to be part of it is what it started out was, the fun thing was we did art projects with each classroom and auctioned those off. So that's a conversation that we can have and see if people just want to do that again. But we're not going to try to do fundraising via Carnival.
Because we have a lot of materials and we haven't done it in 3 years. So another big ask will be help with putting it all together. So kind of all of it.
There's gonna be a big volunteer ask coming in the next week or two.
And maybe it's Tonka serves. I mean, we did have some kiddos, and maybe I should have mentioned, we did have some older kiddos, alumni middle schoolers, that were off one of the same days as our book fair, and they wanted to come volunteer. Couldn't really just do that with the book fair without it being an organized event. So I spoke with Sarah Johnson of Tonka Serves, and so we're gonna look for opportunities where, it's easy to get the high schoolers to come and help us with the spring fling, but like, can we offer things to middle schoolers and things like that? So something like Carnival, we may
Yeah, and we
need to
have
get
in the past relied heavily on high school volunteers.
For the
For the event
itself,
itself.
not
Yep,
the planning
yes,
of
that
it.
we-
Yeah, for that night, like they run the
Yes.
different stations.
Mhm.
And it's actually really, I think it's good because I think the kids also are a little bit more, I don't know, they're just, of an older, yeah, what'd you say? Well, I think that, and also I think they're a little bit more like receptive to someone being like, get back in line. Just
Yeah,
it's nice to
yes.
have not always an adult
Yeah.
telling you what to do, so.
Good point. Good point. So yeah, so excited to have that, but will be a big ask coming out as well. So then the next one is Imagination Fair. And Susie, that one is pending. I can let you do it. That one is pending some availability, but Susie's here to speak to it.
So, we just found out from Gina that we are in person though, right? Is it pending?
Pending
Pending
space
space.
allowed,
Okay,
but in
okay.
person. So it's coming up, so we need to talk about it.
Okay.
There's just a little bit, I mean, I can speak to it unless you want to.
I'll tell, Amy suggested, there's three of us on the committee, and two of us are leaving after this year. So again, more volunteers.
Just doing this.
We're hoping to maybe recruit on the day of, like, hey, you like this? Or you want to stay around? But we did just meet, and we thought I think a lot of people here kind of know what the Imagination Fair is, but we thought that there was, to tell you that the Imagination Fair, again, something we haven't had for a while, and it's basically, anything goes, but the first time I experienced it, I saw it as, this is kind of like a science fair, but you don't need to do science, you can do art, you can just do whatever you want. So if there's some kid who just has some great idea, this is the opportunity to do it. But then you don't need, but also teachers don't need to do it either. So it's just, I think we've said, you can imagine it, you can do it. And so we haven't done this in a few years, and we're excited about the possibility of being in person, because the last few years have been virtual, which is fine, but just not as fun. In the past, we've had, the day of the Imagination Fair, kids bring in their projects or their displays, whatever it is. And throughout the day, hopefully classes, and usually if they all do, come through and maybe for about 15, 20 minutes, look around the Imagination Fair, leave, and then kids can show off their projects. And then later that night, for like an hour and a half or 2 hours, parents and families can come back and come around the Imagination Fair, and then we're done and we take it home, and a lot of fun, something to feel very proud of as a kid. So, but if you want to tell more about, yes, we were wondering if it would, so I guess it's in person, but we're struggling with space.
Everybody agrees that this is much better in person, that it just doesn't work the same for hybrid. So everybody wants to have it in person. It's just we don't have as much space, and so we need to see if there's just some attempts to see if we can move around some space usage that morning, because logistically the kiddos would need to drop off their things early that morning before school starts, or the night before, and there's like a conflict mid-morning. So that's kind of the question. So everybody wants it to work. It's just a matter of waiting to make sure that we have use of the space for the full time that we would need it.
Okay. So we'll wait to hear from you, because we're
Standing by.
We ideally want to be able to tell families before winter break.
Yes.
Because, if you need something to do over the break, there you go.
And that's why we're talking about it here. I mean, I think if we've done it hybrid in the past, we could do it again. I mean, so the options are, to not do it or to plan on doing it, but that we wanted to make sure we chatted about it because we'll definitely be communicating it before the break so that everybody has enough time to do their project and everything. So watch for updates on that. I'll let you know right away, but just watch for updates on it if we can do Imagination Fair shortly, the next couple of weeks. We don't have a quorum to do a vote, so we'll do that later. So the things we were going to vote on were use of the booster-thon and also supplemental printing costs. This year, $10,000 from the PTA to the school just because of unexpected expenses, increase in paper expenses. So we'll do that digitally later. So then we have Assistant Principal Nicole Sneddon joining us today to give us the update.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Hello. Sorry I'm late. We had, as you mentioned, Tonka Serves. We actually had 3 students from Scenic Heights that we were honoring tonight at the high school. So it was a great event. So I got to get in there right away and hand out their award, or help, announce the award. So that's where I was. Yeah, just a couple updates from, how the year started. So I think you've heard a lot of great things. I know the team up here has been sharing some of the events. The Booster-thon was a huge success. One thing that we're really excited about, as Jenny mentioned, we have these laundry baskets. We're trying to take some of the prizes, some of the earned pieces of outside equipment and really invigorate again, like what does outside look like, being here, giving teachers an opportunity to rethink their systems, coming back after COVID and really having more of a normal start, still not completely normal, has really helped us to think about what are some things we want to do different? What are some things that have worked really well in the past with systems and structures and routines? And then where might we want to, make changes? So we're excited about partnering with the PTA and really getting these tools and really helping solve a problem that we've had with just, equipment and trying to figure out the lost and found, as she mentioned, and trying to partner those things. So we've done some great work this year. I know Principal Walker shared at the last PTA meeting about MTSS, which is the multiple tiers of systems of support. And what that really is a district initiative that we're doing. It's one of our board goals on how do we really look at how we support all students and each and every student. So that could be students who need a little extra, all the way to students who need a little extra in terms of, advancement or challenges. And then what does that look like for those students who are right in the middle there? How do we continue to grow them and help them? So we've been doing a lot with staff on talking about best practices. We call them Tier 1 interventions. It's the things that, as teachers, we do these things for our students, knowing that 85% of our students respond really quickly to these interventions. So giving staff a chance to really, share like, hey, what works in your classroom? We're talking about social emotional learning. How do you handle a situation where you see the student who's just not growing in the way that you want to? And what things are you doing that really work well? And as teachers, teachers really appreciate that opportunity to learn and hear from each other. We don't oftentimes have enough of that. So we've been really focusing on our staff meetings on those types of things, giving teachers a voice, promoting, opportunities to try new things. We have been focusing a little bit on what belonging looks like at Scenic Heights. So I know we talked a little bit, Principal Walker talked a little bit about this at our first PTA meeting. But when we think about belonging, what are we doing here so that each and every one of our students feel like they're valued, that they belong, that they're seen, and that we hear them. And so we've done some work with our staff on talking with staff first and foremost, what does belonging mean to you? What does that look like to you? Because we know that as adults, we need to internally know what that means to take care of ourselves before we can take care of other people. So we've been focusing a lot on what are those behaviors that we should see when we talk about belonging. And then also moving into with students. We're hoping to do some work around values. What are some core values we see here at Scenic? And as we think about whatever those core values might be, including in different stakeholder perspectives, talking about behaviors, what should be the behaviors we see? For example, if a core value we have is acceptance, what does that look like to a student? Or what does that look like to a parent? What does that look like to a teacher? Because we know that they might be similar, but we also know they might be different. And so really having transparency about what that word might mean or what that behavior might look like will help us to really make sure we're partnering together to support our students. So that's just some work we're starting to talk about. We've talked a little bit about bullying. We've been kicking off with our school counselors, what does bullying look like? We have I was going to take a picture of it and I didn't get a chance to on my way in, but we have a tool that we've used here for the last several years, and it talks a little bit about the difference between friendship friction versus, what's natural. What are things that are naturally going to happen with friendships? And then helping kids to understand, is that a friendship friction? Is that a classroom conflict? But really, it's kind of this inverted triangle that essentially helps students to label and name what's kind of normal or healthy conflict. And then how do you really define what is bullying and what does that mean? What are the words we use? So we're excited to continue to work with students on that, also communicate with families, just so we can be using common language on some of those things. So, wow, there's so much more to share. I'm just trying to be mindful of time. Any questions, comments, thoughts?
You got 20 minutes, you're fine.
Well then, right? I know I had a couple things bulleted. I'm like, well, I'll just try to keep it here, but no, it's been a great start. It's been awesome. It's been great. It's so great to see families and parents and community members back in the buildings, having helpers, having support. It's been a great start. So.
Do you know if they'll have like Spirit Weeks? Is that a PTA thing? Or-
Yes. Yeah, Spirit Week. We talked about that. We need a Tonka Pride chair.
Oh, so that's what we're waiting on, is somebody to do it?
A little bit, yeah.
So-
So Spirit Week,
Spirit Days.
Spirit Days.
Yeah,
Spirit Days.
So every
Friday.
Friday,
Yeah.
Gina's looking at, it's always been a thing, but we haven't really advertised it. So we talked to Nicole and Joe.
Yeah.
They're okay with it. Yeah, so
So-
other schools have been continuing to do the Spirit Fridays, and to do that, we probably should, there have been requests for Tonka gear and things, so we should probably do more pop-up sales and things like that. So to facilitate that, it would be good to also have a Tonka Pride chair to go along with it. But yes, Tonka Spirit Fridays.
We do Spirit Fridays here. I guess maybe we've talked about a little bit when we were kind of meeting. Maybe we can be more intentional in our like KRTS or just reminding students, but we do have Spirit Days. I don't know if it looks the same as maybe what it has in the past or what students think it is, but yes, absolutely. We want to make sure we're continuing to do some of these fun things. And
Yeah, thank you, Nicole. And that was kind of the funny moment. It's like, we are doing it. We were like, really?
We are doing it like until the kids said, or?
The kids, could be aware of it in the school. It's just not, mine aren't coming home and saying I have to wear my blue shirt today. But the KRTS, that's the
kids run the station.
the radio station. Yeah, some of us younger kiddos may not know that yet.
Yeah, yes, it's our studio. It's amazing. The kids do a live morning show every day. Our fifth graders run it. Our media specialist and support staff help to get it going, and it's a great tool. It's a great way to communicate. So
all the kiddos have, they have Boosterthon shirts, right? And they have Scenic Heights shirts. Mine have a lot of Explore shirts are also good.
And because one person won the sweatshirt for Boosterthon, I have to order at least 12. So I was going to order like 30, and those will also be for sale that will say Scenic Heights with the Minnetonka M on them. So that will also be an option that is available.
Oh, like a certain amount of money they want that.
Yeah, thanks for asking, Marie. We're early tonight. I don't know, any other walk-on items? We can break with tradition.
Any other questions from people online? Anything that you want to discuss or curious about or want more information that we talked about?
I could say that the yearbook committee will send out a message that we're not doing Halloween parade in the school any longer, but the yearbook has had a spread for Halloween costumes. And so we're going to continue with that, but for inclusion, they're going to be looking for other opportunities for pictures and different things that kids can add to it that are meaningful and special. So probably, send out a note on the Facebook or something to say, hey, you've got another few days if you wanted to send costumes for the kiddos, but also kind of know that we're looking at expanding that for some other things that would be meaningful to include in the yearbook.
Related to fall harvest?
No, just in the spirit of inclusion.
I have a question about the yearbook.
Yes.
Very confused and neutral. So I randomly get an email
Mhm.
that says,
Mhm.
get your yearbook. But then when I was on the Facebook page last year, somebody was asking about, when do we order the yearbooks? Do
You
we
can
use the
order
link
your
that's
yearbook
coming
from
out?
that email.
Life Touch.
It's
Yeah,
LifeTouch.
But I just don't ever,
Anyone that has used LifeTouch in the past, we have tried to turn that off and they can't apparently. And so if you receive that email, that takes you directly to our yearbook ordering. And you can go ahead and order your yearbook anytime that you want. And we just have not actively advertised it yet. Sandra and Ingo and I are meeting and putting together the cover and kind of the layout. And then I'm going to talk to you about baby pictures because now you've got a fifth grader again. Yes, you can order through that anytime. It is not spam. It is not, it's just that they have an automated system that if you have ordered a yearbook from LifeTouch in the past, they will continue to send that as long as we provide a LifeTouch yearbook. And so there is nothing wrong with that email or anything like that.
It's confusing because we have Strawbridge photos,
Right.
Life Touch here.
yeah, and I think I ordered them through the link last year, and then I think I was like, oh no, did I really order it? And I was at the end of the year, I was like, I hope he comes home, I hope he comes home, I hope he comes home. So I was just kind of wondering, so, okay.
Good question.
How much longer is our Strawbridge contract?
They just re-upped it last year. If you truly have issues with Strawbridge, the more emails that get sent to the district.
It's district.
Yes, it is, there is a person that does it through the district, and when we first signed up with them, many of us brought the issue to her and, at the PTA meeting, and she did not care that the schools, did their yearbooks separately from them and that we wanted to do LifeTouch. She said she would rather have cheaper pictures, and use Strawbridge than, facilitate the use of LifeTouch. I know that with the acquisition of LifeTouch by Shutterfly, I know LifeTouch has been having some issues with their school photography and running into some customer service issues. So I know that they have not been as strong as they had been in the past. I think it probably is an industry issue. The problem is, yes, Strawbridge has been around a long time, but they are so small and they are relatively local to the North Carolina area until recently that their technology was just not, and still is not up to the caliber that LifeTouch is. I worked at LifeTouch, so I know they have proprietary software for their background replacement technology. They have proprietary software for their, what's it called?
Touch up?
Touch up, thank you.
Missing a nostril.
Photoshopping, yeah, missing a nostril, which my niece was missing a nostril, yes. Maddie's
Some of the
face,
touch-ups,
the photographer didn't know how to take Maddie's picture with her glasses on without getting glare, so Maddie is looking down like this because that's the only way that he could take the picture with her glasses on. It's a lovely picture of her, so we didn't do retakes, but yes, and so it's an argument that I had back then. The skin tone, I mean, my children get very brown in the summer and they look like ghosts in their school pictures. And it's just like, and it just is, their photo editing, their
Whatever.
yeah. And so, I mean, I know some people don't care. I am someone that likes my portraits to be good. And like my sister doesn't care at all. She's like, it's just, and I'm like, and so,
my kids look like they don't have eyebrows.
yeah, exactly. And so, well, yeah, because Jane in particular, she's so blonde, and
They
so
like completely took away every freckle.
every
on her
freckle,
face.
everything, yep.
Yeah. I sent them back. I said, no, send me, please,
Unedited.
please unedit this. Send me just a rough draft.
Well, the problem is if you order the A package,
Yeah.
which gives you the digital image as well, they do automatic retouching. And that's fine, but the LifeTouch software looks for actual blemishes. It doesn't even touch scars unless it's, I mean, unless they think that it's something that would want to be retouched or if there's a comment. But their retouching software is so honed that they literally are looking, they know to look for red splotches and that kind of thing. Whereas this one basically whitewashes the entire image.
I should show you.
Oh, yeah,
It's really
I'd love to see it. I'm
So,
nervous. I know a
yes,
lot of
if you,
details.
I don't know, we did not have many
That's a lot.
people submit RFPs
Okay.
for the last selection process. Strawbridge was kind of one of the only ones that did. I don't think Kemet Mueller even did. And so that was part of the problem. I know that the local Life Touch territory has had issues for many years for the yearbooks. We've had 5 yearbook advisors in the last 2 years. So they've, I think, been struggling with all of that as well. So I think right now we're at the best that we're gonna get. But if you really do feel strongly about it,
Become a comedy of it.
it has become a common of yours, I agree.
I wait for them to come to the home and I'm like,
Oh, okay, something new.
Today you're yellow. Last year you were white. Like
Mhm.
really, really
Mhm.
hot. Today you're yellow.
So yes, I would recommend emailing the district and expressing your opinion, because the more people that do, then the less they have to stand up to.
I mean, it is a bargain, but.
It is, but I'd rather pay $40 for my school portraits and get a good portrait than pay
Yeah.
20 for
Yeah.
crappy pictures. But so,
I was gonna bring up having to do with you about that you guys, that we can send in like Halloween pictures or other pictures. Maybe without an email, but I don't really, for those who don't, maybe it's only me, but for those who don't rely on Facebook for that information, it would be nice to have information go out and email too.
it went out in a peach jar
Alright.
The
I
request
live
for
in
the
Peach Jar.
for the Halloween pictures, yeah.
Can we
Alright,
still
that's good enough.
Yes, you can still submit.
Thank you.
The email address is, let me just double check here.
Yearbook.
It is, of course, I don't have it on my phone. I believe it is, I can't remember which order it goes in.
We didn't send it through the school because we're not
Peach
doing
Jar's
Halloween
great.
in the school, but it was on the Facebook page. And then, so we're gonna just do like, hey, if you want to submit, there's a few days. But you know, so there's just some other things that people want to do. Kind of one example, and I mean, this,
Scenic Heights Yearbook at gmail.com.
I lost it. I was saving it and then I was like looking for it and then I lost
Thank
it. So just, yeah, so I, just kind of the yearbook, it would, be open to suggestions, but they're gonna be thinking about it. And I think as we do that, they'll do that. But yeah, absolutely, the Facebook
That's
page,
fine.
not everybody's on Facebook. I would love to get off of Facebook.
Yeah.
I did one.
Went on there.
I did. No, I did. And then we had like a family tragedy and it was horrible
That's
because
good.
it was like this younger cousin, like didn't tell people, my aunt, and like there was, and I was like, I'm missing like I should have been on, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, fine, I'll get back on Facebook. So I did because people use it so much. There is something that I'll just, apologize that this wasn't included during the like upcoming district events, but I didn't know we would have so much extra time. But this just came yesterday. This is kind of exciting news. Prior to the pandemic, the district held Chinese New Year celebrations at the high school in the Commons and West Gym. So thousands of people attended those events. This year, they're going to pick it back up. So the district-wide Chinese New Year celebration gala is scheduled from, I'm going to send this out, but I'm sharing, but I have to read it because I don't know it. It's going to be 6 to 7:30 p.m. Friday, January 13th in the high school art center. So each grade level from each Chinese immersion building will provide 1 or 2 to 4 minute long performances depending on class size. The program can include, but is not limited to, nursery rhymes, martial arts, dance, singing, short plays, mixed songs, and musical instruments. And in addition, our New Year celebration will have information booths and activities occurring before and after the performance for the families and the public. So some of those have been paper cutting, making lanterns, Chinese calligraphy, chopstick competition, tangram puzzles, and more. So there's also going to be local Chinese restaurant booths to sell their dishes to the public. So each school has a New Year preparatory committee. So, and we have Zhu Han and Yu Guo. I'll again send this information out once we kind of finalize it. But if if the PTO is interested, but they are inviting parents to help volunteer at a booth, decorate the art center, contribute ideas to what other cultural interests could be represented. So kind of exciting news. So watch out for that. So that'll be in January, but there's preparation going on in the meantime. Good news. I don't have anything else. Does anybody else have any walk-on items or questions or anything? Okay, all right, well, we are ready to end. Can I please get a motion to adjourn the meeting? Thank you, Susie. Can I get a second? Thank you, Faith. Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I realized that I was looking at my stuff and I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot to send it to those guys. I haven't worn these since the fun run.
I grew up there.
The bird. Thank you, Nicole. We'll talk to you. I'll be here tomorrow. The laundry baskets are getting here tomorrow. And so I ordered, they were $7.98, and so I ordered 24. That was either 20 or 24, and she had said 23, but we could maybe get by with 20. I just ordered 24, so we have them.
Great.
And so then we'll get everything labeled. She gave me her list of what colors for each grade and all of that. So she and I are on the same page with all of that.
Awesome. Thank you so
So
much.
then we'll be able to blow up the balls in your office and put them in there and get everything on.
Yeah, feel free to use my office. I have a couple, actually, I don't think I have any meetings in my office, but if you ever need to, you're always welcome.
Thank you. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Space is tricky, so I get it.
Right? Thanks, Nicole. Have a good night.